4,998, 4,999.
Hi YouTube, this is Raven. I'm a survivor of a 16-year marriage to a covert narcissist and now divorced from a covert narcissist. And in my last video, I had someone ask me, I had talked about how my lawyer was mumbling under her breath the last time we went to court about how this is so ridiculous, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. And they asked what was so ridiculous. So I wanted to make this video to explain what was so ridiculous about when we went to court last time. And something that I've noticed about narcissists, and it seems to ring true with other narcissists, is that if something's not their idea, they are not going to go along with it. If you have an idea, you've got to convince them it was their idea. I'm sure that, all of us have had bosses before or coworkers. You come up with a great idea, they're not going to go, if it's not their idea, they're not going to go along with it. And my narc is the same way. And it's partly because they're stuck in toddler stage. In nursing school, we've learned about the different stages of childhood development. And in the toddler stage, sometimes toddlers will say no, even though they mean yes. You'll ask them, do you want hot dogs for dinner? And even though hot dogs might be their favorite food, they're going to stomp their feet and go, no, no, no. And they do that because they're trying to assert autonomy. They're trying to have some kind of independence in that stage of development. And I think narcissists sometimes are stuck in that stage of toddler development. I think my narcissist, I thought I was married to a toddler sometimes, the way he would pitch a fit, and get upset about something. And this is what happened with court. And what had happened is that in our marriage, several years ago, he decided that the income tax was illegal and he wasn't going to pay it. So for several years, he didn't pay income taxes. But of course, the IRS is going to come after you if you don't pay income taxes. And if they don't get their money one way, they're going to get it another way. They're going to take money out of your bank account. So in order to keep the government from taking money out of our bank account, he took all the money from our savings and he bought gold and silver coins and he put them in a fireproof safe in our house. And, that's how he was hiding money from the government. Well, what had happened was when the divorce started, the first thing he did, he came home, he packed a bag after he got out of the mental hospital. He comes home, he packs a bag, went into that fireproof safe and he took a stack of cash, because we also had cash in the safe. But he didn't take the gold and silver coins because I think that he would have had to explain to his parents who he was he had this story going that he had been driven to suicide by this horrible woman that I'm married to. Oh, I'm so fragile. He wouldn't have seemed very fragile carrying an entire grocery bag full of gold and silver coins out to his parents' car. They would have been like, what are you doing? Wait, why do you have gold and silver coins? He would have had to explain that, oh yeah, by the way, I was a tax dodger for several years. So he left the gold and silver there. So I immediately took the key and I hid the key to the safe. And so he comes home a few days later, and that's the first thing he did. He went to the safe and he's like, I can't find the key. Where's the key to the safe? And I said, I took the key. We're going to divvy up the gold and silver coins in front of the lawyers. We're going to do this legally. And he said, oh, I thought you were going to try and steal the gold and silver coins. It's like, no, you were going to steal them. That was the whole point. So it's taken us 2 years to get to this point where we could divide the gold and silver. And we had financial mediation, and in financial mediation, they said, okay, divvy it up, you want half, he wants half, okay, take them, get them appraised, and divvy it up. Well, then he wouldn't decide on a place to take the gold and silver coins. I would suggest one place. No, absolutely not. We're not going there because it's your idea. I mean, pretty much it was because it was my idea. So then he suggests some other place that's in the scary part of town, some fly-by-night pawn shop. I had suggested a reputable coin dealer that obviously is going to declare any income that he gets off of this to the IRS. So he didn't want to do that. So that put in motion a 9-month process with the court to get a judge to decide where we're going to take the gold and silver coins to get appraised. And in this process, all of a sudden, he comes up with this idea like, oh, part of the gold and silver coins were not investment coins. They were coins given to me by my grandfather. They were family heirlooms, and I want that half in my half. And, my lawyer's like, fine, whatever. But then he says, But he didn't want to get cheated because he thought that his grandfather's coins might be worth more than the gold and silver coins, or they might be worth less. It was all about, he wanted to make sure that they were appraised by weight of gold and silver in each coin. So this puts in a process of 9 months. We finally get to court, and I've made the suggestion again. His lawyer won't make any suggestions at all. My lawyer had called up the day before and said, hey, let's just decide on a place for them to go get the gold and silver appraised, so our clients don't even have to go to court. And his lawyer was like, nope, sorry, we already filed the motion. I'll see you in court tomorrow. And my lawyer was saying she's never dealt with another lawyer like that didn't want to settle out of court. She said it made no sense. It was ridiculous to her. Well, then we're in court, and she tells the judge, okay, here's where my client has researched. We can take the gold and silver coins. His lawyer doesn't even make a suggestion, and the judge is like, well, what am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do? It's like, I can't rule on a place to take gold and silver coins to be appraised. I'm not an expert. And so then, his lawyer's like, well, we have this pawn shop. And then the judge shuts him down. Like, no, I am not ruling on you taking it to a pawn shop. And so the judge is getting ready to rule and say, okay, you know what, fine. We're going to settle it in another month. We'll let another month go by, for you people to decide what to do. And I'll rule on it then. Well, as she's about to make her ruling, all of a sudden, Narc is standing behind his lawyer, and he grabs his lawyer like, no. Where she suggested was fine. Where she suggested was fine. 9 months, that he has to, finally decide, oh, okay, yeah, we'll go with whatever she says, And so then my lawyer's having to handwrite something for the judge to sign. His lawyer's having to handwrite something, and my lawyer's like, this is the most ridiculous thing I have ever done in my life. I cannot believe we are doing this. Oh, this is so unprofessional. And so, we exchange the handwritten sheets for the judge to sign. The judge is looking at both of them like they're idiots. Why are you wasting my time in court? And so we get out of court, and my lawyer turns to me. She's like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. And I wanted to say so bad, because narcissists are ridiculous. That's what I wanted to say, but I said, you know what? It's been 2 years of ridiculous. And hopefully now the 2 years of ridiculousness are over. I still have another court date, but hopefully things will be settled by then. But it got even more ridiculous when we went to the place that he had decided upon that we were going to settle the matter. And this is a huge, grocery bag full of gold and silver coins. This is thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gold and silver coins. And supposedly he's been fired from his job, but I can never get a straight answer out of him. It's always word salad, that he was either fired, or he was let go, or he was downsized, or no, he's still working for them, but he's now a contractor, and he doesn't know if it's going to lead to a new position, but it won't be a raise. He just gives me word salad. But the matter is that he needs money. He's obviously hurting for money. So we're there, and we're counting out, the gold and silver coins. The guy is appraising them, and he gets down to the silver coins that are supposedly from his grandfather. And he had made a big stink out of this for 9 months, that this was his grandfather's legacy, his grandfather's coins. And we get down to it, and the guy has appraised it. Here's your half, but the gold and silver coins from your grandfather, which they're really just silver coins from his grandfather, is like, how do you want me to divide these? Because they can't really be divided equally. So then Narc says, why don't we just sell them now, and we'll just divide the half between us? And I looked at him, I'm like, you want to sell your grandfather's legacy? I mean, you've made a big deal about this, that these were your grandfather's coins. You want to sell them now? And he says, oh, they have no sentimental value to me. My grandfather didn't collect them. He got them out of a laundromat. People brought them to the laundromat to do their laundry. And I'm looking at him, 100-year-old Morgan silver dollars. Somebody brings their Morgan silver dollars. This is one. An 1888 Morgan silver dollar. Someone takes this to the laundromat to do their laundry? I don't think so. I mean, I would love to know the laundromat that his grandfather went to, Because, I know that every time you go to the laundromat, don't you find 100-year-old silver coins? I mean, I do. I find them all the time, right? I knew that was a made-up story. But, I actually have one of them because, when I was gathering all the gold and silver coins, I didn't realize that I had mistakenly left one behind. I was really worried. I mean, the night before we went there, I was like counting them out, and I had my mother there, to like take a record of what I was counting, because I was like, well, somebody needs to give a count here so that when we get there, he's not going to accuse me of not bringing everything. But then when we get there, he didn't care. I mean, and I think it's because he knew he could trust me. He knew that I'm a trustworthy person. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, but yet he knew, I guess, he knew that I'm an honest person. And, I felt bad about it when I found this coin, in the bottom of the drawer that I'd forgotten it. And then, I was like, you know what? He took a whole stack of cash from the safe, and he never had to account for that. He took thousands of dollars out of our safe when he left. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'll probably save it. I'll, give it to my daughter or my son someday, But that was the whole ridiculous thing, that he held up this for 9 months because he didn't want to go to the place that I had suggested to go to, because it was my idea. But, of course, as soon as we divvied it up, he took his stash, and he had it in his arms. He didn't have a bag. He's like, oh, I should have brought a bag. He's sitting there trying to get it up in his arms and take it. He took it immediately to the cash register to sell. To sell his grandfather's legacy and to sell the rest of the gold and silver coins. And I remember he even said something. We're sitting there. He could not keep his mouth shut the whole time that the guy is appraising these things. He just keeps talking and talking and talking. And I'm just like, shut up. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with you today. And he said, do you remember why we got these gold and silver coins? And I said, I remember why you got them. Because I was about to say, because when you were not paying income taxes, and being a tax evader. He's like, no. I meant, do you remember what we got them for? How much we paid for all of them? I was like, I don't know, and I don't care. And, I wanted to say, just shut up. I don't want to deal with you. But, because this whole situation was ridiculous. This whole situation could have been resolved almost a year ago. But he had to drag it out because narcissists are ridiculous. And they're toddlers. All right. That's all for now. Be vigilant. Be safe. Take care.